Welcome back to Idaho Today. Imagine sending your child off to an exciting adventure in a foreign country and then learning that they've been imprisoned. Former Meridian Mayor and author Tammy De Weerd is here to share her story. Tammy, it's great to have you here on the show. Really appreciate you taking the time to share this really personal experience that you and your family went through.
Thank you, Mellisa.
Yes, okay, so we kind of set the stage, right? Your daughter, a world traveler, loves an adventure, shares with you that she's going to a foreign country. She is also loves to take care of herself, right? Travels with supplements, as many of us take on a daily basis. However, it's the fact that she had supplements with her as she enters into this country. There's a bit of a holdup, right? Walk us through that experience when you realize that something may not be okay with your daughter. Give us a little bit of that story.
Well, our daughter was very good, almost routine about checking in with us as she leaves for her next adventure, because she is a restless spirit that loves experiencing new cultures and more. But she always would let us know when she left and when she arrived. Very religiously about that, because she knows that we were concerned, and definitely about traveling to Egypt on her own. So we got the message that she was leaving on this next journey. But the next morning when we woke up, it was a Saturday morning, we thought that we would have a text that said she arrived. And that text wasn't there. And we waited for it all weekend. And it wasn't until after midnight, Sunday night, that we got a message from our youngest daughter, Taylor, who was the last one who had seen her, that said, give me a call in the morning when you wake up. I have an update on Hannah. And that began our journey of maneuvering through an unknown legal system of a foreign country. And maybe even more harrowing is it was some time before we knew anyone that had actually seen her. Oh. So we didn't know what condition she was, or really if she was even alive.
Wow. Okay, so you had no clue what was going on.
No.
When you called your daughter that morning, your youngest, for the update on Hannah, walk us through that conversation.
I think the first thing we needed to do when we called Taylor was to reassure her that now that we were involved, that she didn't have to carry this burden alone, because she was very anxious and stressed, as I'm sure you could understand. But it was more reassuring her that we've got it.
You're putting your parent hat on. You were taking care of your youngest and taking the burden onto yourself, but then as a parent, I can only imagine how terrified you were, you and your husband, Jan, right? Knowing that your child is overseas in a prison. And like you said, you're navigating literally this foreign land and this foreign process.
Yes.
What did you eventually learn about your daughter's condition once she was finally released? What was the prison cell like? What was it like for her in there?
You know, our understanding of it was in the basement, you know, tucked away without any light, a 24/7 fluorescent bulb, in a room about the size of a 12 by 12 square room that held anywhere up to 20 women at any one time. They took turns laying on the concrete floor. There were no furniture, or they were not supplied with anything. So they would take shifts to sleep. They were fed daily imitation processed feta cheese, some bread, and some sugar water.
So once a day.
But, yeah, and the women in that cell really depended on family members or friends to drop food by. There was food allowed to be given to those that were detained, and every woman that would have someone drop something by became the community food.
Wow, okay.
Yes.
So over 24 women in this tiny little space, sharing a floor to sleep. Your daughter was going through her own experience and her own journey, and had a very fascinating, if I may use that word, kind of a fascinating discovery of her own once she was finally released, which I want to talk about when we come back, because that's also a part of this book that you wrote about your experience, yours and Jan's experience as parents navigating this process, but also kind of this greater calling, if you will.
Compassion
Her compassion and
the
greater
women
calling.
and their circumstances,
Yes.
being there and forgotten.
Absolutely. We're going to talk more about that when we come back. We're going to talk about the book, When We Could Not See the Moon, and where you can also get a copy. So stick around. Idaho Today will be right back.